Uh, our next comedic hails from a small place in Los Angeles called something, and he likes bikini models and his friends. Okay, here you go. Thank you. This is Brent. I don't know if you guys got confused with another person, but this one's definitely Brent, right? Are you sure? Do we ID him? Are you sure you're 32? Get out of here. Nobody's 32 is on our mom. Get out. Thank you, Adam. And girls, beware of Adam. He's really slick. So if he buys you a drink tonight, always have your like him drink the first sip just to be on the safe side. You don't want to end up in the back of a trunk of a car in Arizona wondering what you're doing to Phoenix with no clothes. So it's happened before. So he did a whole set about it like last semester. So luckily the cops aren't in class, so otherwise he'd be in deep shit. So I was told, actually my best stuff is about bikini models. It turns out I'm one of those guys that if I see some chick online or I meet her at the Comic-Con or auto show and she impresses me or she tells me something that a booth babe would say, when I hand her a business card, she'll say, oh, I remember you from the year before and let's go out sometime. Turns out those are just lies. I didn't understand for many years that people, when all of a sudden a girl who wouldn't talk to me at the nightclub 4 years ago, that same looking girl, that same type of girl is now at Comic-Con or the auto show, and now she's just crazy about me and like chasing me around. It turns out it's just an act as a booth babe that they pay $3,000 to $4,000 to be up there in sexy lingerie and standing in front of a Corvette or an old Studebaker or something like that. And then at Comic-Con they're in front of a booth about video games or a movie coming out. And it turns out they're not actually in love with me like I thought. So then if you find them on Facebook and say, hey, remember me, the guy you want to go out with? And then they're like, block, delete. And all of a sudden, like, the face is missing on Facebook. You're like, what? I thought she liked me. I didn't get it. So, and then if you find her on another website and continue the conversation, ask, hey, I remember me as the guy who said, oh, sorry, or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like, again, block and delete. But in certain websites, I'll read the terms and conditions just to know why someone would block and delete you if they don't have a block and delete button. And sometimes that means they'd have to write to the company and say, this guy's just a total moron, just get rid of him for me. And then you're like, oh, okay. But so I had that happen in real life. That's not a joke. But yeah, this is really sad because people like my parents, again, will get really upset about me a lot of stuff. But if I go and I eat downtown San Diego where they have all the hot UCSD San Diego State girls that just graduated wearing sexy outfits like nightclub outfits, but standing there as a hostess handing out menus, and all of them start hitting on me and flirting with me as I walk by. And I come back to the house, hey, Mom, Dad, all of the chicks at the restaurants were just crazy about me. They're like, can we put you in the mental hospital? Those realize those people are paid to be there as like spokesmen for the restaurant. And like, that's what delusional you are. We did that bad of a job raising you that you think that these girls really like you. And so they say stuff like that. This is not made up. They actually will say stuff like this to me sometimes on a daily basis. So it gets them really mad. But then I come from a family that fights all the time, or does backhanded compliments, or puts each other down. Not every minute a day, but very often. A little bit too often to be a little comfortable with yourself. So my family's more like Roseanne. Not The Simpsons so much, but more like Roseanne, where there's just like, chaos happening. Not as bad as Married with Children. So it's between Married with Children and The Simpsons, it's basically Roseanne as the type of like the A-type family that our family's like. And not 100%, but just the way we treat each other is very much like that show. And then I get crushes on girls that if I research her and I find out what her mom and dad do, and her mom and dad look like they came from the Brady Bunch as the parents, or that lifestyle, I'm like, damn, all the other guys on the internet can say all they want about taking her to bed, how they're gonna, what nice ass she has, how great her rack is, what they do, what they would not do in bed with her. I just ignore all that stuff. I don't talk lewd to them. I'm not interested in that. I never had the guts to say this to them, but I always wanted to say, I want to meet your parents and go to a barbecue and take your dad's dogs on a walk. But it turns out you could probably get yourself in big trouble for saying that directly because you never met their dad, and they're the same one who said that they were in love with you at Comic-Con, and then you find them on Facebook, and you get blocked and deleted. So sometimes they have better luck with their friends. Like, not that I'm hitting on their friends. I'll ask, if I'm not attracted to their friends, doesn't mean that other people aren't, but I will ask, 30, 40 people, I know it's Cal State Long Beach or school all around, why is this friend attractive? I'm not interested in her. Why do people pay her $4,000 to stand there in a low-cut halter top at Comic-Con or the auto show? I don't understand. And they say, oh, there's a cute girl. I can see that, but I don't connect to it. So I have this disconnect until people explain, oh, the other girl's got nice titties, you know. So, oh, okay, so that's what you like about it. Okay. So then at Comic-Con, I offered the one girl I'm infatuated with or in love with a Snickers bar. But first, before I did that, I went and I offered a kudos bar to a different girl who's kind of a booth babe, but she ran the Academy of Art San Francisco program to get people to apply to the school. I forget what that's called, but where basically getting people to come to the school. So she was like, handing out flyers and all that. And she was the person in charge of that. And she was smoking hot. She was a little bit old, like my age. So it was, in terms of booth babes, unless they're like famous as a famous TV star or porn star, if they're like early 30s, it's getting kind of like the expiration date. So I have ruled that expiration dates is that like all these girls who won't go for me now that are between 18 and 35, they're still in high demand. But as soon as they hit the late 30s, early 40s, then all of a sudden you're like that pizza slice that's been in the fridge 3 or 4 or 5 days. And you're like, well, I'm sure it's gonna taste good. The pepperoni, the double pepperoni is still gonna be awesome, but am I gonna get sick? And at what point do you throw the food out? So I've had to I never tell girls that to their face. Once, let's say I knew a girl for 10 years who used to cut my hair and I was in love with her for many years, always trying to contact her, not having much luck because she's always had one-night stands with other people, and her mom is always like tagging along, encouraging her to be a one-night stand type girl, and kind of like, i.e. a tramp, but I'm thinking, that's not a good sign for me because, A, this girl's gonna have really poor kidneys and really bad liver, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna give up my dreams of owning a horse or house and possibly dying in the operation table to give this girl who's been partying and ignored me and brushing me off for years a free kidney for me, and she might cheat on me anyways. And then the mom, if I ever had grandkids, the mom who's going to now take the granddaughter, even if the granddaughter's a little midget I adopt, or Siamese twin, the mom's still going to want to take that granddaughter, live through her vicariously at the bars, and I don't want my granddaughter to end up, with a bad kidney and some disease that she can't get rid of at the doctor's office because grandma needed to take her to New Orleans too many times. So, I'd rather have a grandma who wants to take the kids to the beach or Disneyland than Bourbon Street at age 18. But that's why when certain girls come from wealthy neighborhoods and their parents are CEOs, and you find all this stuff about them online, you're like, damn, that guy looks like he walked straight out of like a TV show from the 80s, like Family Ties or something like that. Well, no, Family Ties wouldn't be it. Like one of those like the parents of Family Matters, but Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie looks. So instead of like overweight black people, just like Hispanic, white-looking, like Telemundo handsome people. It's like, okay, I want them. So if the girl, let's say, gains some cottage cheese thighs, whatever, who cares? If she gets breast cancer, her breast needs to be taken out, who cares? It doesn't matter. But if those parents are solid and they would make great grandparents, I'm all about that. But then the problem is that she already blocked and deleted me a few times. And there's only so many times you can say you're sorry to someone. But the truth is, I have more interest in her parents now at this point than I am in her. My fantasy is like, every time my parents yell at me about something, I wonder what her parents would do at a barbecue. Would they be nice to me? If I had kids, would they take them to the beach and not chew the kids out? And I end up thinking a heck of a lot about that, but I never told that to her face because it would be very disrespectful, I think. And also, she probably figures that if the guy starts talking about miniature horses and sending her links to miniature horse websites, when most guys usually just say vulgar things about taking her to bed and impregnating her if it was a baby mom or whatever they're going to say, that I'm in a whole nother direction and I should probably be avoided much more than the guy who's just directly sexually harassing her. So it's kind of like a weird paradox. Because everything I said was very Sesame Street, G-rated clean, but then because the topics are so weird that she's not used to it. But then, at Comic-Con 2010, I gave her the Snickers. The lady at the Academy Art, the lady Academy Art took the kudos bar, and I hadn't been eating that well at Comic-Con because you were there from like 9 in the morning till about 10, 11 at night. So if you want to save money, you just go to the seminars or go to the floor show. You skip going to the takeout places or to the pizza slice places upstairs at the convention center, and then you start getting fatigued. So let's say I'm standing like this at 9 a.m. By 3 p.m. I'm like an old man. You're fatigued. You're running low on energy. So I figured, okay, I got backpack full of granola bars. That's what the chicks who I talked to said that they're in love with me and all that at Comic-Con. That's what they would want, right? And then so you hand it to them. The one at the San Francisco Academy one I met before at a junior college, she came by. She said, oh, thank you, and took it. And, I thought, oh, okay, cool. I'm like a really cool guy. Like, yeah, all the chicks like me. I gave her kudos bar. She's really into that. And then, but the fucked up part about that, she wasn't so nice either, because later on I told her, I gave my business card saying, I'm interested in you as a person. I've already gone to art school. I don't have all this money to go to art school again. I'm not interested in going to art school. Would you be willing to not have this go on the mailing list so I don't get catalogs from San Francisco Art Academy? She said, okay, yeah. And then I never hear from her, but then every 2 weeks I was getting a catalog, a $10 computer design program. I was really insulted and hurt, and this is not a joke. I was actually really insulted and hurt that I had to call the school and say, I was trying to flirt with someone and she wasn't interested. Instead, she just put me on the catalog list. So that's like, I'd rather be blocked and deleted than having to say, he's not even worth blocking and deleted. I'll just put him for all the other business cards. And he's handsome, handsome. He's just like another, if he can't pay $60,000 a year to go to our school, he can't waste my time. So it's kind of like, wow, I got really good people skills, I must say. But I'm so suave. No, but then the other girl who was in love with it, she's working at the booth, and she remembered me from the year before, she said, when she was wearing a bikini at Comic-Con, which there's no ocean, there's no pool at Comic-Con, so if they're in a bikini, they're just in a convention hall in a bikini, it doesn't quite fit. And basically everybody's just taking pictures of their ass or the ass cheeks with the thong bikini, and that's what. And then so I had my friend take a picture of me with her, and I went like this, and I said, I like your taste in clothing, and I got a laugh out of her. But first, before I said that, I tried it out with the photographer taking pictures at the booth, professional booth photographer for the booth babes, and he laughed about it, and he said, okay, that's a good joke. So then I came back the next day and tried it out, and then I saw her, the next year. And then she, I was so scared because of security. I don't know if, all these girls, have people like myself who end up at first starting timid and then getting over aggressive that, where they chase me away. Because I hadn't done anything stupid yet like I did this last year. And then, so then she would talk to me. She looked at my art portfolio. She said I was a really talented artist. She said she remembered me for the year before. And she said, I gave her my business card. She said she wanted to call me and hang out sometime. But she gave me a fake name. She said, her name was one name and then had been another, and I didn't put two and two together till a year later. But and then she said she wasn't on Facebook, but then of course the place she blocked and deleted me was on Facebook. So I was a little hurt that someone would tell me that they had a stage name. They gave me their stage name and then they lied about being on Facebook. So obviously she wasn't in love with me. Like, my parents were right the whole time. It's all freaking fantasy. I probably should be in a mental hospital for believing this stuff that I think is true. And then, because they tell it to my face, so I take it at their face value. They're telling me the truth. Turns out that they're often not. But then the problem is, why would I still like someone that did that to me? Is the major disconnect is with myself in my own reality. So I gave her an apology gift because I gave the one girl the kudos. I gave the one I really liked the most a Snickers. And then she looked at it for a second. It was my favorite, the almond kind. The almond Snickers is the most badass candy bar on the market right now. And I gave it to her, and then she said, yeah, I can't have this, and handed it back to me and said, I got to get back to work. And I was like, oh man, I guess I got rejected. But then I ignored the fact I got rejected and said, I'll come with a plan. I'm like Wile E. Coyote, I just don't give up. And that's the problem, like people, it's like, I know the whole theory about being crazy is that a crazy person does the same thing over and over again, expects different results. But to me, Wile E. Coyote always comes up with a new plan. It's not like he does the same gag every time. And so when people say, oh, Brent, you're a stalker, it's like, no, I'm more like a cousin than I'm a stalker. Because again, I'm not interested in the sex stuff. I just want to have their dad go bowling with me, and the girl be like, Dad, I'm in love with this guy. So the family approval, the Brady Bunch thing. So a G-rated love story, which really I think throws a lot of people off. I think people would rather me just say something completely vulgar about making her a baby mama than saying hey, I would love to impress you and your family. That, because then they say, well, how did you even know I had a family? And you're like, oh, I just, you type in your name on Google, you find all this stuff. But but there's the same girl has websites about her in Russian. I don't think she's even been to Russia. So like again, like people look at her, or like Men's Fitness magazine has a whole web page devoted to her ass. So I didn't blog on that page, thank God. But then I also saw her drive past me. I was driving back on Tuesday to San Diego to visit my family for a few days and get chewed out and yelled at, and go through the whole motions with the family and buy a bunch of art books and play with my dog, take my dogs on a walk. And so I was driving on the 405 in Irvine, and I saw her driving right next to me. And luckily, like, you know what? Every time a pitcher in baseball during World Series that comes from like Dominican Republic looks up, like goes like that. Every time, like, they miss a pitch or they win the game, they always like thank you God, or God damn it God, like blaming the God for the problem instead of their pitching. So I was like, I didn't do that while driving. When I came home, I was thinking in my head, thank God I didn't try to chase after her to like show off on the freeway that I was really cool. I just stayed in my lane and I just like kept it cool and just kept driving. I saw her. I thought about whipping out my miniature horse magazine to show, hey, remember me, the guy who rejected? But like, I could carry one in my backpack. But then I didn't do it. I had my cat with me, so I had to be extra careful. Sometimes I'm not even worried about my own safety. I'm more worried about the safety of others around me. So what I want to do is like, honestly, this girl watches Dexter, so that for a while it freaked me out. Like, what if she wanted to kill me or have someone kill me if she watches a show about serial killer? I know Dexter's about serial killer kills other serial killers, but I still was kind of hesitant. But for some reason, the disconnect is that I'm not afraid of dying. I'm actually looking forward to it one day, not through murder, but just getting old and dying. But I'd be more worried about her cutting the brakes on my dad's car, or sending someone out who hates me to cut the brakes on my dad's car, causing chaos, like the whole mafia thing or dictator thing. You attack the whole world around the person until all they have left is themselves, and then you're defenseless. But then people said it's a really paranoid fantasy to have. So like I kind of agree that is kind of paranoid. That some bikini model is gonna, yeah. So I gave her in 2011, and I walked up and said I was sorry to her at convention, and put my head like this, said I was sorry because I really was. And I gave her a bunch of gifts, and then like 3 coffee mugs I made. A bunch of miniature horse magazines, and then I did original drawing, and then a bunch of pictures of dogs and cats and miniature horses in a pamphlet I used to carry with me, and I gave it to her as a gift, and I said, would you like this? And she said yes. And then I found out that on Comic-Con Monday, it closed Sunday night, and on Monday I got an email saying we found your stuff on the convention floor to be thrown out. And so I was like, I was pretty heartbroken. I didn't even tell my parents about it because they would have really let me have it. And I was so ashamed of it. I didn't tell my parents, even though I tell my parents almost everything about myself. And I met some guy at Wendy's to pick it up, but I didn't know if he was going to be an angry boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. So I had to, like take the chair and see if it would be a good weapon or not in case he comes in there with a gun or knife. Like, am I going to be able to protect myself? But I started off being smooth with the guy. I said, he's a white guy. I said, can I buy you something to eat here? And he said, oh, no. And he just gave me my stuff, and I said, do I need to repay you somehow? This is really nice of you to do this, to give you my stuff back. And he says, oh, just pay it forward. But I never found out exactly how he came across it or what happened, but he told me that he just found my stuff in a business card of all this cool stuff sitting on the floor after the convention was over. And again, the thing I want to change about myself that I'm not really necessarily proud of, I'm not ashamed of all the rejections I get and all the Pasadenas and Norways and all that jokes I make, that how they're really based on real life to a point. I'm more ashamed of the fact that I'm still infatuated with someone that would do these things, and I still was chasing after her in a negative way, trying to get approval and attention in hopes of meeting her parents. That was like, it's unhealthy behavior for her to hurt me really bad, leave my stuff to be thrown out, or block and delete me, and just treat me like crap, and I sit there and take it with a smile on my face. And then for me to go and try to instigate a conversation for her to like me by telling her my favorite artist in art history, if she was an art history buff, is also unhealthy behavior. So if I could change one thing about myself, I wouldn't be a hopeless romantic in my next lifetime. I'd be like my kids I'm going to adopt, Denzel Washington or Brad Pitt. Thank you guys. This is Brent Goodman. Yeah.
I'm going to end with a little bit of physical comedy. All right, thanks for coming out, guys. That was fun. Yeah.